What is going on, everybody? I am that fat guy, and Craig put me in charge of the Browns table tonight. So we got a good show for you coming up here. We are going to get into our hot topic a little bit later. But for my guests I got coming on tonight, and big fella, I'm going to put you on hold just for a second. I got to bring in Tim first. So we have Tim Okafor joining
What's
us
up?
here tonight to talk about Browns, whatever we're going to talk about, especially the hot topic, which him and I are going to argue.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a thing.
And then I also got to bring in my co-host of Illegal Him the Face. I have him tonight. I got Big Bry with me. And Big Bry, now that we are all together on the Browns table for the first time since the second episode, I have to put in this for Craig so that he understands what we're bringing to the table.
And now it's time for Fat Boy Tuesday.
And here we go. It is definitely time for Fat Boy Tuesday. So tonight on our episode, we are going to get into the hot topic a little bit later, but we also got to send out condolences to the Schottenheimer family. Marty Schottenheimer passed away at the age of 77. He was a great coach. Memories that we have can only be it's just as sad to hear him passing away, especially at his age. So first and foremost, we want to send out our condolences to the Schottenheimer family and, Browns Nation, because he was definitely one heck of a coach for us. Granted, it was a short term, but not short term like Chudzinski short term. It was just like a minor short term. Also, we have to Les Levine. Most people know him. He had started a radio show host and TV host and everything else media wise, and he passed away. So we want to shout that one out too. So it's been a sad, somber day, but the good thing is about the Browns is we have a coach of the year with Kevin Stefanski. So first off,
best jawline in the NFL.
I know. So first off, I want to congratulate Coach Stefanski for getting, 25 votes, first place votes. Closest person to him was 7.
Coach, unanimous.
Thank you so much, because for once this offseason, we are not looking for a coach. We are not looking for a quarterback, and we have the 26th pick in the draft. Now, hold on. The only pick is the 26th, not the 4th, not the 3rd, not the 2nd, not the 1st. 26th. Soak that in, people. Enjoy it. Love it. Bring it in. Yeah. So, boys, what do you want to say about Coach Stefanski? You want to give him some congratulations? Let's go.
Oh, definitely.
Tim, give him some.
I mean, I think that first game of the year was kind of scary, right? Oh man, we got beat up by the Ravens, some crazy calls, but then everything started settling in and you just saw it. We already had a couple of players like Jarvis and stuff that were bringing a culture that we had not had, but then he brought something better, that hold yourself accountable. And it feels good to have someone that is just there, and he deserves, I don't know. There's not much else to say. He has shown it. I guess that's probably the best way to do it. He did the walking and not the talking. Like, he just proved himself. He proved himself to the Browns fans, which, we've dealt with so much crap over the years. He just proved it to us. Like, no one doubts him, which we always have doubt. And now we have 0.
First time in a long time.
Yeah. Hats off to him, because he deserves it. Very well deserved. Like,
Big
100%.
Fella, you want to hit on this?
Yeah, you talk about Marty Schottenheimer, and the reason he has such a special place in all of our hearts is because for a lot of us who are under, 40, 50 years old, he's the best coach we've ever seen in Cleveland. And so it's crazy to think that was 30 plus years ago that he was here, and we haven't had anything of significance other than maybe one good year with Butch, one good year with Belichick. And so now we've had one good year with Stefanski, and it was his very first year when everything was going against them. And so just what they dealt with and the offseason, trying to get this team together. You guys mentioned that very first game. We thought, here we go. We were almost like Juju. We thought, same old Browns. Here we go. We can't find a coach. We can't find a quarterback. And we have nothing to look forward to other than the draft every single year. Well, they rebounded from that game, and they put up 11 wins this year, which is unbelievable. And that playoff game against the Steelers, that's something we'll be talking about for many, many years to come because of what they had going against them, not having Stefanski. And like I said before, it was almost a credit to Stefanski, the fact that he wasn't there and they did not skip a beat at all. And he had all those players and all those coaches prepared for every single situation that might arise.
Yeah, it's kind of just, it's like taking a breath of fresh air, knowing that you don't need to find another head coach, and knowing that after 11-5, we are for once so far away from, what was it, Brian? 1-36 or whatever the hell it was.
Oh,
like
gosh.
131. Yep, unfortunately.
I mean, just think about that. And also in the comments, I forgot to mention this. In the comments, I put up a way to reach us here. Message us, talk to us. If you want to come on, come on. If you don't want to use your face, pick a symbol. We don't care. Come on the table with us. Bring some ham with you, because that's what we're bringing tonight. And shoot the shit with us. Let's have some fun tonight. I mean, it's Brian's gone. Nope, he's back. But
All right.
This is what this is set up for Browns fans to actually enjoy and interact with each other. And speaking of interacting and everything else, I have been in charge of the hot topic of the week. All right. So this week, the hot topic was, let's see here. We had OBJ, his fit with the Browns, which Tim can't wait to get into this one. We also had past coaches. We've had, I got to bring it up, but I'll bring it up later. But the winner of the hot topic for the week was, does OBJ fit with what the Browns is doing? This is what everybody wants to talk about for some odd reason. We had multiple other things, but this is where we're at now. So, all right, I'm actually going to say it.
But you want to start doing this now?
We got to start doing it now. It's the hot topic of the night. This is
Okay.
what everybody wanted, right? So I hate to do this, but if you watch the second half of the season, Baker did so much better without OBJ. But there's times throughout the season, throughout those games, that I feel like we need an OBJ to take the top off because there's not a wide receiver that can do it. All right. But does he fit here? And I'm still not sure that he fits here because I don't think he does. And Tim's already starting with me.
Well,
so-
I'm seeing my friend Liz chime. She should actually get on here. Huge Browns fan. She should actually really try. But she's wanting to. She's with you, Fatty, 100%. She. Oh, see, she's wanting me to listen. We talk it like everybody's like, we need speed. We there's only one thing I can say about OBJ, that is he going to come back with that burst type of player? I think he has that mentality to where he wants to do those type of things. He is going to come back and want to redeem himself. He's going to want to show that he's, what he's cracked up to be. I think we missed him in some circumstances. Trust me. I do not want, Peoples-Jones and Higgins, those guys played right there. Oh, so Liz is agreeing with me. Yes, please. Thank you. Thank you, Liz. Thank you. I love what he brings to that offense. And Stefanski ran with Thielen and Diggs in Minnesota. It can work. I just don't see us getting rid of him. What are we going to do? We're going to cut him. We're not going to get what he's worth by any means.
No.
So what are we going to do? Cut him? No. We talked about this before. Bare minimum, give him 6 games. we all know what the 3 touchdown game. Tell me that you guys were not just eating that up and loving seeing him on the field. And that's what he can do.
But yes,
Like,
it's far and few in between. Like you had Jarvis go out and catch 7 catches for 21 yards. That's not acceptable for Jarvis, but you're expecting Odell to at least get a touchdown a game. And there's games where he was targeted 13 times and caught 4 passes.
and I think that's whenever, you know, Baker was still learning the system. He was still a little jittery. You know, I think we saw Baker come into his own throughout the season. Baker now, you know, we said he legitimately, he knows that that's his team. 100%. This is Baker's team. He's not going to look at OBJ now like I have to feed him the ball.
Right.
Like, I think that now, because that's what he was doing. I have to get I have to get the ball in his hands. I have to get the ball in his hands. Now he doesn't have to do that. He knows he doesn't have to do that. Now it's just going to stretch the field. Like, do you think if OBJ was in the game against the Chiefs, it would change some things?
It might change a little bit, but at that point in time, you trust your defense to beat Chad Henne, and they couldn't beat Chad Henne. That's more of a defensive thing.
I'm just saying, like, you saw what Tampa Bay.
You're a Michigan fan. Shut up. I'm not talking to you.
No.
You saw what Tampa Bay did. You saw you saw what Tampa Bay did. You had Mike Evans, you had Godwin. There was too much for Kansas City to take care of. Now, I don't want to take anything away from Higgins or Peoples-Jones, but we did not have anybody to. They just the defense. Like trust me, our offense was playing well, but we just were. It seemed like we were missing something. And I think OBJ brings us. I just think that OBJ brings that to the table, and I don't see why anybody would want to get rid of him right now. Trust me, I look at the salary cap. We're paying Jarvis and OBJ $31 million combined this year.
Yes,
we are. Nuts. Like, that's crazy. So the longevity of it, no, I don't see it. You know, maybe it works out and we see something. Like, it blew my mind that Mike Evans today, they put it out there that Mike Evans for Tampa Bay said that he will renegotiate his contract and take less money. And he said, use my money to keep this team together.
Well, of course, there's people, like Tom Brady was like that.
I'm just saying, like, you would maybe hope to see that that'll happen because of the culture that we've built now in Cleveland. But these guys also want their money and they want their, they want their fame. They want their name up there. And I don't know. Give me what you got. Tell me why you think that we're better off without him.
It's not that. Okay. I think what you said works, but what you're talking about is, second half, it's technically Baker's team, but you still have that diva wide receiver mentality of give me the ball, 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 give me the ball. And that's what OBJ is going to chirp into Baker's ear. And I don't know if Baker can tune that out because it's OBJ. If it was a rookie wide receiver, if it was anybody else, if it was DeAndre Hopkins, I think Baker can tune that out, but it's Odell Beckham Jr. And for some odd reason, with his name comes a cachet with him.
But didn't you think late, like before the injury, he started talking, I'm here to win. He started liking to feel like that winning feel. He's never really had that ever in his career. And players start eating that up. They like winning. They start forgetting about that.
I'll bring Liz. Perfect. OBJ might be humbled after this injury.
I think he.
How many injuries has he had? He's had
a ton.
A ton injuries. Why would this one be different?
This one took him out, and he got to see his team be in the playoffs and his team be successful without him.
You think
so? He's not going to come in there and think he has to carry the team.
All right. So, Brian, what do you think?
Yeah, I think with Odell, it's not so much of an Odell problem as it is a Baker problem. because you can't tell me why Odell doesn't fit in this offense without going to, well, Baker tries to feed him the ball nonstop. And so we have not seen Odell play with Baker at his best. He wasn't at his best last year. He wasn't at his best for the first 5, 6, 7 games of this year. So I think absolutely we need a guy like Odell. Why would you trade him? He's not a head case. He's not a cancer in the locker room. He has a big personality because of what the national media has made him out to be. But all he wants to do is win. Listen to Jarvis Landry. Listen to his teammates. All he cares about is winning. And so I don't think he's going to go to Baker if they're winning and he's getting 5 catches for 50 yards. I don't think he's going to go to Baker saying, hey, you have to get me the ball more. And so that Kansas City game, yeah, he could have absolutely helped us. Putting up 17 points is not good enough in the playoffs to win. And so Jarvis Landry, 7 catches for 20 yards. That's because they're crowding the line of scrimmage nonstop because we have nobody to take the top off. We have 2 great running backs, and we have a great short route receiver in Jarvis that has sure hands. Same with our tight end Hooper. We need somebody to stretch the field a little bit. Hopefully at some point it could be Peoples-Jones, but right now that guy is Odell. We need him to be the Odell of old. Hopefully this injury is not a huge setback. The only negative thing I could really say about him is he's injury prone, but I'll take the chance because if we cut him, if we trade him, we're only picking up a couple $1 million off our salary cap because we owe him so much. It's not like we can just cut him and get rid of his giant salary. We still owe him 80%. So it's not going to help us out too much. And I think he's a guy that we can add to next year's team without signing a big name free agent. We can add him to now Baker has claimed this as his team. And yeah, you're right. Odell was probably Baker was intimidated by Odell a little bit before. And he thought, I have to keep this guy going. He's a superstar. I have to get him the ball. But now it's pretty clear that it's Baker's team. So if you add Odell into that locker room and he's just one of the guys, he can succeed, he can flourish, and I'm super excited to see what he can do next year, hopefully at full strength.
So I asked Liz to come over with us. So
do you need me to get the shirt out?
No, don't get the shirt out, please. I don't need to see that again. I really don't. I felt bad the last time, and but
I bought an Odell shirt just for Fatty.
He did. And he's he's all, hey, I wore the Dad and Twins shirt. That's why I drank twice as much tonight.
I strongly believe that we are going to be a better team with him. I do.
Right.
There's just, and the way our offense came into its own, he's just going to add so much more. That's going to, it's going to mix defenses up. They already have a lot to worry about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Another thing is Njoku really, really made me fall in love with him in the playoffs, and watching him more and more, I would like to see him stick around. And people were like, oh, we could probably get something for him and blah 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 blah. But it's I think that there's pieces like Odell, like Njoku. I think there's guys that we didn't get to see exactly. Thing is what's going on here? I'm hearing myself. Technical difficulties. But I think there's players that we're not seeing their full potential on this team yet, and it's coming because we didn't have a preseason. Stefanski called them the Zoom Warriors or whatever, the Zoom All-Stars, because we dealt with that. And then, even going into the playoffs, half of our practices were in parking garages and Zoom calls. These players are going to come together and we are going to see, I'm excited. It sucks that I'm always waiting for football, but this year, oh my gosh, it's going to be miserable. I just want it. I want it back already. We got the power rankings came out, today or yesterday?
We're 7th.
Seventh.
Seventh.
Yeah. Got the Ravens right ahead of us. I'm like, meh, I don't know. So,
and we're going to talk all off season about this defense and how they need to improve the defense. And for the offense, you don't have to improve much. You can copy and paste. And, our offense was the best we had at the end of the season. Well, we're adding Odell to that. So we still haven't seen, even if we bring this entire offense back and add nothing to it, we haven't seen the best that they can be, because the best that they were was at the end of the year. And now we add a potential Pro Bowl receiver to that. So the sky's the limit for him. I don't know why anybody would want to get rid of him, other than you're just tired of his act. You're tired of his social media or Baker forcing him the ball. It really doesn't have a whole lot to do with him and what he does on the field.
Yeah, Bright, let me bring it back here. So I totally understand that. It's just, it's hard. I mean, you have a diva wide receiver, but this town is not diva. Like,
how about this?
We aren't diva here.
Here we go. How about this? How about this? How about the fact that we, year in and year out, we've always had something to complain about. We've always had something to nitpick and a problem that we needed to fix. And right now,
it's Odell.
We don't really have anything. So everybody wants to say, oh, it's Odell.
It's Odell.
Like, we need something to complain about. We need something to talk about. We need something to nitpick. Let's go with Odell.
How about this? So
in actuality, it should be the defense is what we should be. We should like we said, it should be the defense that we're worried about.
If we're talking about Odell, that means it's the off season and there's nothing to talk about.
Well, hold on. So these were the 4 topics I brought up in the hot topic category. We had the OBJ fit because there was rumblings of everything else. We had the past favorite coaches of your Browns. We had the biggest disappointment of 2020 with your Cleveland Browns. And we had the top plays from 2020. And everybody, it was 43% picked OBJ. 40%.
He's a name.
And the thing, 28% was top plays in 2020, and 19% was the biggest disappointments of the year.
Okay, let's say OBJ's on the team, and it's whatever. We just forget about it.
Okay,
and copy and paste the offense, because I think we're there. We don't have to worry about that. And Odell just adds so much more to it. The defense-wise, there's a lot of free agents, a lot of veteran free agents that could bring a culture to that defense that could literally put us over the top. I like the Richard Sherman talks.
Shut up.
Listen.
Shut up.
I think that he will take a huge discount to come here. And he even said he came out and said it. He said that he wants to play for a team that is competitive with a defense that he can bring together.
Of course, because he wants one more Super Bowl ring before.
Okay, why not? Okay, just like Odell. Odell's what, 28 years old? Wide receivers, he's only got 3 or 4 more years of like elite play. So he's going to want to win. He's not going to be worrying about, he's already got his name. He's already, people already consider him one of the best in the NFL. He doesn't need to prove himself. Now he needs to win, just like LeBron. Everybody knew LeBron was the best. And then he left for Miami because he needed to win, because it was the only thing he hadn't done yet was win. Do you know what I mean? So that's kind of like where I'm at with OBJ. He needs to win. And, I like the Sherman talks. I like the Patrick Peterson talks. I like the JJ Watt talks. I know that you love the JJ Watt talks.
Oh, I love the JJ Watt talks.
So like some of those guys, interesting.
So I understand that. We can't afford Peterson. There's no way we can afford Peterson.
He's 30 years old.
Yeah, but we still can afford him.
And don't forget that Richard Sherman's coach last year was Joe Woods. and
Very
now
true.
he's in Cleveland. So he knows this defense. It's not going to be this giant learning curve. He's not going to play a defense that he's not comfortable in. So, like you said, I think he would take a discount to play here. And I think if the Browns can sign 1, 2, maybe 3 veteran players, they don't have to be superstars. You sign them to that defense, and then you spend 4, 5, 6 draft picks on that defense. You can't tell me that defense isn't immensely better. And because that's the thing that's kind of holding us back right now. And the Browns window is open right now. They have the quarterback on the rookie contract. So they need to go out and be aggressive in free agency and sign these guys that are towards the end of their career for 1 year, for 2 years, and just hope that they give you something. We just saw a couple days ago, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won the Super Bowl because of their defense and because of guys that they have signed, veterans, Jason Pierre-Paul, and Ndamukong Suh. Those guys played major roles in getting to Pat Mahomes and making him uncomfortable. And I think that was a wake-up call to me. Like, we need a dominant defensive line if we want to disrupt Pat Mahomes for the next 10 years. We saw it 15 years ago when Brady played the Giants. These great quarterbacks in their primes, you can get to them, but the way to do it is through your defensive line and through not having to send crazy blitzes at them, through 4 guys getting pressure on them, and you can drop everybody else. So if we could sign a J.J. Watt, if we could draft the guy in the first round, defensive lineman, to have these big impacts, then I think that's the way to go. Stack those guys alongside Myles Garrett, and let's go to work. Let everyone else around them develop.
Yes. And, the great thing is about I still want a linebacker. I understand what you're saying about a defensive lineman, but you still got to get a linebacker because
we have young linebackers that we don't fully know what we have in them yet.
Listen, 26 looks nice. Just saying, there's some guys there at 26 that I don't hate.
Yeah.
Like, there's some guys I'd be pretty happy about. Like, just saying.
But I mean, at that point in time, like we were talking about earlier, Brian. At that point in time, at 26, are you going to take what's there, what's best available, or are you going to take a need? Because we haven't been at 26 without a top 10 pick for I don't even know how long. So,
but you could also make the argument that at 26, you could fill a need by drafting any defensive player, because we're not set at any defensive position right now. We could take defensive tackle, we could take an edge, we could take a linebacker, we could take safeties. We hope are pretty good, but we don't know how Delpit will bounce back. You can never have too many cornerbacks, so the best defensive player available, Christian Barmore, might be there, and we saw him dominate the college football playoffs. So that'd be nice to add to your defensive line.
All right. I understand where you're coming from, but I'd still like somebody that can actually tackle.
Right.
I understand you want to get pressure on the quarterback, but after he dumps off the screen pass to somebody, we still need somebody to tackle that person, and I don't think we have it.
Well, and I was talking about how you beat Pat Mahomes and their long developing routes down the field. Yeah, getting pressure on him beats him that way. But if you're playing the Ravens, you're right. You need defensive linebackers that can tackle, because if not, Lamar Jackson's going to run all over you and run through tackles and run for 40 yards at a clip. So it's tough, because you need certain things for top teams in the AFC, and you need other things to stop, the Ravens or the Steelers. Or so if you can just get solid at every position, and hopefully another year with Joe Woods, that's something that we haven't had very often, because we're constantly changing defensive coordinators. So another year in this system, we're a young defense. Hopefully they develop, and hopefully we can find some players and keep it moving.
Here you go, Big Bry. You ready for this one? Take a look at your screen.
I can't see. It froze a long time ago.
Oh, okay. So it's Big Man. Big man writes up,
Okay.
boys. How about a high linebacker in the first round? Zaven Collins would be nice.
Yeah, David Collins would be nice. He's a stud. He's an overcomer coming from Tulsa. And I don't know if he'll last till then, but if he does, he's kind of a do-it-all linebacker. So if he can adjust to the NFL, yeah, he'll be a great pick there.
All right. So I'm just going, Tim.
Yes.
I need you to take care of this one for me. Could you read this one?
Yeah, I know. She was texting me about it at the same time.
Okay, I'm just going to let you take that one.
I'm gonna be honest about it. I think we all want to believe in Joe Woods, but we know that there is a lot of issues on our defense this year. So I want to keep him around. I want to give him a shot. I want to give him a chance. I like some things. I guess I can't even say some things. There was a few things that I was happy about. And it was more so in the beginning of the season. I don't know if injuries and things of that sort started, guys getting wore down. The COVID situation with Garrett was a big thing. He was just not the same player. He wasn't as disruptive as he was after he came back at all, in my opinion. So I'm going to say I'm a believer in Stefanski, and if that's his choice, I'm for it. So that's all I really have to say about it. Is if Stefanski says that Woods is our guy, Woods is our guy.
All right. I'm going to come in now. So, all right. You have Joe Woods, who took San Francisco to the Super Bowl. Am I right, Bri?
Yeah, that's right. Well, he was the defensive backs coach. He wasn't their
I hear you. But he has to deal with Greedy Williams being out. Every safety he's ever known, gone, and he had to call people from the farm system. Myles Garrett going out with COVID. You had Olivier Vernon. You had people blow out Achilles at some point in time. Your linebackers suck. So, yes, I'm going to give Joe Woods more time because he's been dealing with a JV team and not a varsity team. And that's just my take on it because he hasn't had top tier talent except for Myles Garrett.
Yeah, and he's a first time D coordinator in a COVID year. So I don't know how much more difficult it gets for a D coordinator. So give him a full year, give him a fair shot next year. And if we still don't make improvements, then maybe we think about making a change. But I'm fine with running back with him.
So she comes back. Do you see what she comes back with? You could motivate him during the Jets game. It's the Jets. Nobody's motivated. I mean, let's be honest.
The Jets game, I think what happened in the Jets game is legitimately the Browns came in there thinking they were going to walk through them.
Like they did last time.
Yep.
Well,
I think
last time, but
that's exactly what I think happened. I think that the Browns, like, just like a lot of teams there at the end of the year, who else did the Jets beat the week before us?
Was it the Rams?
The Rams. Yeah. And they kicked the shit out of the Rams too. Like, it wasn't like there was like this spurt that the Jets had there at the end of the year. I don't know. It's a bummer. I hated that loss. That was right. I can forget about everything that happened that year, but that Jets loss really, really irked me. Like that was, it was humiliating. It was like, it sucked.
Yeah, I honestly think that kind of propelled them to beat the Steelers there at the final week. I really do, because at that point in time, like I was telling Bri, it's either win or go home. There's no, there's 900 scenarios. No, you beat the Steelers, you're in the playoffs. At that point in time, you had to beat the Steelers, and they did. So it kind of, probably pissed them off that they lost to the Jets because it's the Jets. Let's be honest. And let's see here. Why we're here to pick up slack? Yep, Craig's chiming in now. He can't let the show go without him, but that's okay. We still love Craig.
Well, hindsight being 2020, if you win that Jets game, you're the 5 seed. And you might not have to play Kansas City until the AFC Championship game. And maybe that lets your guys get a little more practice in, a little bit further from their COVID stints. And who knows what happens there? We see what we can do against Buffalo. I mean, because a lot of us think had we beat the Chiefs, we would have had a good chance at taking down the Bills. So it would have been nice to see how we stack up against them. But we lost the Jets game. We fell down to the 6th seed, and we had to deal with what we deal with.
Yeah.
But we can't be upset about it by any means. And like Bride said, a COVID year, we were in the playoffs and we gave the Chiefs a run for their money. I don't care about the Henny shit and everything else, because we can play there were some bad calls, whatever, Chad Henne. We gave the Chiefs a run for their money. The Chiefs know that we're for real. They understand that, guess what? We're probably going to see them again, and we have to deal with that.
Right.
I love the fact that Sammy Watkins was legitimately a non-factor in the entire playoffs when he decided, he wanted to run his mouth a little bit too. But I think we have a lot to look forward to. Back to the Joe Woods situation, there's no reason to blow anything up right now.
No.
The OBJ thing, there's no reason to do anything other than address our concerns on defense. Give Joe Woods the players he needs. Our offense has the players they need. Why not just focus on that? Don't worry about the rest of it. Come in, actually get some real practice in. It's a big, it's a big thing for Cleveland in general to have this right now. So, oh my gosh, I just saw that. Get out of here. Get out of here with the Deshaun Watson thing. Get out of here. Come on.
Hold on. I'm muting you. We do not talk about this at this table because we have our quarterback of the future. And Craig, stop trolling. And he gives me a kick. Thanks, Craig. All right. So
well, let me say one thing before we move on. I love the fact that we play the Chiefs next year in the regular season, because we just saw what Tampa Bay did their second go around against the Chiefs. When you see the Chiefs and you see that offense for the first time, that speed is shocking. You're not used to playing against offenses that look like that. So we get another chance to play them, to see all their gimmicks and everything, and see how that offense works one more time before we might have to face them in the playoffs next year. So hopefully we'll be better prepared and, adjust to whatever they're doing. And I think to me, the Chiefs are kind of remind me a lot of the Golden State Warriors. I know I've made that comparison before, but the Chiefs, it's not good enough for them to win. They want to win their way. They want to win throwing the ball. And as someone in fantasy who had Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and they would throw the ball from the 1-yard line nonstop rather than just handing it off because they want to jack up Pat Mahomes touchdowns. We saw it in the Super Bowl. Edwards-Helaire averaged 7 yards a carry, and they didn't want to give him the ball. They want to throw the ball. They want to be this high-flying, greatest show on turf offense. And if you can take that away from them, they're not happy with doing the dink and dunks like Tom Brady has done his whole career.
Isn't that kind of Andy Reid's thing, though?
Yeah.
Andy Reid's always been that guy. He wants to pass the ball.
Yep.
So, guys, I am going to ship it off to you for just 2 seconds. We
said to go to the bathroom before the show.
Well, you're already 40 minutes into it, and I got to go to the bathroom.
It's a long way to your bathroom. I know that.
No. So what I'm going to do is I'm throwing out this topic. Let me unmute it. Should Clay Matthews Jr. be part of the NFL Hall of Fame? And you, Clay Matthews.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you. For some reason, I heard Juju Smith-Schuster.
Oh, no, God, no. Don't. Nope, we're not doing that. So should Clay Matthews be in the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think there's much of a discussion there, Brian. I mean, historically, Clay Matthews is, even what's his son's name?
Clay.
Yeah, you're right.
Right.
But I mean, it was like they always talked about that, when he came into the league, they still talked about his dad. You know what I mean? It was just like,
Right.
It like it's all there, and it wasn't just like from our standpoint in Cleveland or just Northeast Ohio. Like the league recognizes who Clay Matthews is. So 100%.
Yeah.
Like I was young at the time, but I remember like my dad and like his brothers and cousins and stuff, like Clay Matthews was the guy, you know what I mean? Everybody loved him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think obviously we're probably biased as Browns fans, but and it's hard to pick a guy who made it in who you would take out, because obviously Woodson and Manning and Calvin Johnson deserve to be in, but there are a couple guys that maybe Clay Matthews, this being his last chance to get in before he gets lumped in with a bunch of other guys, I could see why you would want to put him in, and you should put him in. And it's almost like in the NFL, you get dinged, you get docked a couple points because you have a long career. You get no credit for having a longevity in the league. And that's what he had. And that's something they don't take into account as much, because in this society, we see Pat Mahomes and what he's done in 3 years, and we want to throw him right to the Hall of Fame. And he's done it for 3 years. It's been tremendous 3 years, but it's been 3 years. And you almost want to say, well, he's probably going to be better than Brady. Brady's been doing it for 20-some years. And to go back to maybe a basketball argument, look at the longevity LeBron has had in his career in the NBA, and we want to just look at Michael Jordan and what he did for 6, 7, 8 years and say that was great. He's the greatest because of that one decade where he was really good. Bring back to Clay Matthews. I mean, his first 4 years, they didn't even count sacks as a stat. And so he loses all those statistics on what he did for those teams. And not to mention, as Browns fans, we know he was the heart and soul of that defense of some very good teams. And I mean, I don't think he gets enough credit for all that. And I think we appreciate him here, but maybe nationally they've forgotten. They said, well, yeah, he was just a stat collector because he played for 19 years or something like that.
And, I am back now. Thank you guys.
That was quick.
I thought Brian was going to break the seal before me. I was wrong. So, Brian, I owe you lunch. Son of
Can I go now? I got to go.
All right, you got to go?
Keep
Man,
talking.
I listen, for a long time, I had a nickname, and it was Tinky Timmy, because I was the one that always had to pee first. Timmy got a tinkle. They started calling me Tinky Timmy. And I learned how to hold my bladder, I guess.
I tried. And it just hit me. I couldn't do it. I mean, this is
bad choice.
Brown's table. This is where the Brown's table is going right now. I couldn't hold it. I was like, something. Either one or two things are going to happen. One, we're doing a live show and I can go to the bathroom, or two, I'm just going to go to the bathroom. And I could have done NASCAR, but I didn't. Don't admit that, Tim. Oh boy,
I have no shame. Liz. You know this.
And Brian's gone. Brian going tinkle?
Yeah, Liz is one of my oldest friends. She knows a lot of dirt on me, and she knows that I have no shame.
Yeah, Brian's going to tinkle now. So, I'm sad.
But yes, no. While you were gone, we basically said there's nothing really. Clay Matthews is in, dude. Like, well, not that he's in, but he should be. There's no argument. It's
sad.
I mean, it's sad, but I can't sit there and say that I'd remove someone that was there, that they, selected, but,
Charles Woodson works for me, but I'm an Ohio State fan.
Yeah, I get that, but I mean, still, his name, his name across the board when it comes to a lot of people, like he was a shutdown guy. Like he really, truly was a shutdown guy.
I hear you. It sucks because, we haven't had a complete Hall of Famer since what? Let's go back in time. Brian was our last.
Gene Nickerson, I think, was the last one.
And we got what? Cribbs? Cribbs is going to be up here soon, right?
He's already. I think he's up. Joe Thomas will be in within a couple years.
What about Phil Dawson?
That'll be a hard one. I think there's only maybe one or two kickers in the Hall of Fame. Probably going to put in Adam Vinatieri within the next couple years.
Yeah.
So
He just got lucky.
You know, and I don't want to discredit any kickers, but I think kickers just get lucky and like if you can kick the ball and you end up on the right team,
right.
You're going to become, you know, that perennial kicker that is, you know, fantastic, that everybody's like, oh, he's the greatest kicker. It's kind of like, is he though? Like now,
Here she goes.
like okay, listen, Phil Dawson. Liz loves Phil Dawson. It might be her favorite Browns player of all time.
Yeah, because he won us how many games? It wasn't anybody else on the team.
Yeah, that's what it was. There was no one else on the team.
I remember a game where he kicked 17 field goals and there wasn't a touchdown.
So there's a story of I think when the Browns were bringing in Phil Dawson and the Patriots brought in Adam Vinatieri, and the Patriots were not going to go with Vinatieri, or Vinatieri was going to sign with somebody else, and they were going to bring in Phil Dawson. And so how would his career have been different if he went to the Patriots rather than the Browns? He probably would be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Would be. Yeah.
It's weird to look at it that way, you know, because that's something else that you see. It's almost like, you know, like your Pro Bowl and your All-Star games and stuff like that. A lot of the times the players that get selected are, you know, it's their team, their fandom, everything like that. It's weird. They, you know, like we were talking OBJ, we talk about him because he's a name. And the same, you know, so that comes into play with the All-Star game and everything else. And, you know, so many people get, like we've talked about this already in the Pro Bowl. We had players that got snubbed that, you know, in your player rankings are ranked the best in the NFL, and they got snubbed from the Pro Bowl just because they didn't have a name.
Right.
So it's crazy to me to think that, like, we're looking at the fact that, like, you know what, every day I vote for Colin Sexton to be in the All-Star game because he deserves to be in the All-Star game this year in the NBA, but I still have a doubt that he's going to get it just because he's not that household name right now. I think he's going to get there 100%. I believe he's going to get to become, he's probably already this year is becoming a household name, but it's like, he's not, like, it sucks. It sucks that that's how things get selected.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I still don't know how the heck Conklin got first team All Pro, meaning that he's the best at his position, and he didn't even make the Pro Bowl. Or Wyatt Teller got second team All Pro and he didn't make the Pro Bowl.
It's the way it works sometimes, buddy. It's just
fatigue. They didn't want to put the whole Browns offensive line in the Pro Bowl, which I guess I understand. But if you deserve it, you deserve it.
Yeah, I think maybe they should start, you know, take it away from fan voting and put it on a more statistical category. You know. Right. You know, basically, like in the NBA, I had this discussion with a couple of my friends before, and I said, you know what they should do? All-Star game becomes plus and minus. It, like, legitimately just go off plus and minus and not what the fans want to see. I get it. It's a spectacle. You get all these players. But shit, the NBA championship is pretty much going to be an All-Star game nowadays. You know, most likely, you know, you got to think you're going to see the Brooklyn Nets versus the Lakers this year. Or even if you see the Brooklyn Nets versus the Clippers or something, you're still looking at, you know, 6 to 7 All-Stars. Like, just crazy. It's nuts. And it's because it's fan voted. I don't know. It's weird to me. Like, I think it's very unfair. And I also am not a huge fan of the Pro Bowls and the All-Star games because they're never really playing.
No, they're just fun.
Yeah, they're just out there having fun.
They're just having fun.
I mean, but hey, what, Cleveland, we get the game this year, right? We get the NBA All-Star game, don't we?
Next year.
Next year?
Right? Really?
22?
22?
22,
really?
I think.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we got. I know that they like locked it in. That's why the whole Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse with like the whole renovations of it was because
Here's Craig. Pro Football Focus All-Star game instead of Pro Bowl.
That would be perfect. Yes.
There he is.
Sure.
Yes, and he's right. Yeah, you go on that. Yeah, you go on Pro Football Focus and you look at analytics. It's insane. Like absolute. I was looking at what's his name? Tampa Bay. Denver got rid of him.
Tom Brady.
No, Barrett. Shaquille Barrett.
Yeah.
I was looking at him on there, and they were talking about, like there's an article that someone wrote on there, and they were talking about how Denver just, didn't give a shit about him. But if you dug deep on his analytics, there was all the right signs there that this dude could be very dominant. And, Tampa Bay fucking just raked that up. Pardon my language, but like
we're a clean show here. All right.
I know. I apologize. I have a very foul mouth.
I
do my best. I know, but it's crazy to think that it goes back to Moneyball. I can't say that is like the way it really works, but there is part of that that's real. Like some of the numbers don't lie. So you kind of gotta, fall into that sometimes.
All right, boys. So we are here at the end of our show. All right. We gotta save some stuff for later, right?
Sure.
So Tim, why don't you tell me what you are a part of for your stuff?
Oh, my stuff?
Are you still doing your stuff?
Well, yeah, I have a podcast. It's called Interview with Nobody. Right now, you will not find it anywhere because I took everything down. I'm rebranding it, bringing it back. You will actually see the first episode next week. The first episode is only going to be audio. We are going to go live, doing it like this via, Streamlab.
Okay.
Not Streamlab, StreamYard. I was using Streamlabs before, but Craig really sold me on the StreamYard, and I love what you guys have created here. That's why I chime in whenever I can. Interview with Nobody. You can find me at Tim Unkefer or at Interview Nobody. It's a whole thing that I do. It's about everybody's nobody to somebody out there. So we're all people. I've met famous people, and I've met guys that sleep on the streets, and we're all people. We're all here. We're all living. Everybody's got a story, and that's what my show has. It's just talking to random people, no matter who you are.
All right, buddy. Hold on a second. I'm going to kick you off here. All right.
All right.
So let's hang on a second.
Oh, am I leaving?
You're leaving for now, but we're talking after this. So.
Oh, okay.
All right. You all right with that?
Oh, of course. Get me out of here.
So, yep, he was talking. I apologize. So, Big Bri, tell him about yourself, bud.
You can find us at Illegal Ham to the Face podcast. Castbox is where I get it. You can find it on Spotify, Amazon, I believe we're on too. I don't know. I don't do a whole lot of self-promotion. You kind of take care of that. So
yeah, here, let me bring it.
You can throw out your Twitter handle and your Tinder, your Snapchat.
Farmies, right?
Farmers only.
Farmers only. Okay, yeah, you can find
your OK Cupid.
No, you can find us at Illegal Ham to the Face, and we're going to be doing a live show again here later on this month. We don't do it as often as Brown's Table, but Bri, I am kicking you off now. Thank you so much, bud, for coming on with me. All right, so I am that fat guy. I hope I did a good enough job for Craig because Craig was sitting out. So check us out. Go to the Brown's Table. If you ever want to come on the Brown's Table, we post a link. Come on. You don't have to show your face. Just put up a letter, come in, give us something to talk about because we love talking Browns. Obviously, you saw that tonight. Let's have fun with this, guys. It's not that hard. It really isn't. I mean, if I could do it, anybody can do it. So, Liz, thank you for commenting and joining in on the show. I really appreciate it. And, something, as I say on my show, I'm that fat guy. I'm uncorked. I'm unloaded. And the Browns Table is out. See ya.